A fun Friday show on the way. Let's roll.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into discussion with you on all things Cubs. Thank you for being part of the show and making Locked On Cubs your first listen today. And the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day, like the video, and comment anything below. Well, another great week of shows, Sam, as we had two guests, both from the Marquee Sports Network, Lance Brozdowski and Cole Wright on Wednesday and Thursday. And we're going to close here to Matt and Sam formation. A good day of spring training over at Sloan down in AZ. Shota Imanaga pitched really well offensively, some good at-bats. And there's less than 2 weeks now until opening day. It's getting exciting.
Matthew, I really enjoy your company, but I have to say, you can't just gloss over what the free agent Imanaga did. I mean, you said he pitched well today. He struck out 9 men in 4 1/3 of an inning. This was a major
development.
Lance spoke about this a couple of days ago.
That's right.
On
this show.
You know, the volatility, the variance, could Imanaga have an ERA as you sip on some cleanly pulp-free orange juice? For those audio listeners, Matt drinks a lot of OJ now.
OJ and water.
Could Imanaga possibly have an ERA in the high 4s? Sure, but could that ERA maybe start with a 2? Could he strike out 190 men? Well, he struck out 19 guys in 9 2/3 innings, and he's given up a couple of home runs, sure, but if he strikes out guys at this rate, he could give up a couple. It's just going to be just fine. I'm very excited. Lance also, we're shouting out a couple of times.
Well, that's fine.
Relax, Lance. But he had one of his tweets about the spin rate and the analytics and stuff.
Yeah, I saw
that. Some stuff really is checking out. And, if Imanaga is a good to great pitcher, this team will hoist the National League Central Trophy. And
I think he is one of the big keys.
And to see him pitch like this, I mean, I was doing some work. I was in class. And when you texted me that,
yeah.
I mean, I did a little bit of a hold on, really?
Right.
Because that's really big, man. I mean, people are missing his fastball, the deceptiveness, the carry, all that stuff that he did in Japan. It's looking right now like it's going to transfer over here, which means big things for the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah, he's struck out 46% of the hitters he's faced, which is absurd. Perhaps he can win the strikeout title in 2024.
Well, no, but I want him on the mound that first weekend in Arlington.
Yeah, likely the third game is what I would guess.
Yeah.
Steele, Hendricks, Imanaga, and then Wicks and Smiley back at Wrigley in the cold temps. As we have another weather turn, but no, really encouraging things from Imanaga, who I think next week we should explore him as possibly one of the keys to the whole year. Just like we foreshadowed and wondered about Bellinger being a key last year, I think the same case could be made about the brother Imanaga.
And his countryman Seiya Suzuki is another key. And he had 2 doubles.
He might be one of the better players in the NL, like you've said a couple times.
Yeah, and he had 2 more doubles today. I think his spring training average is in the mid-8s. So,
well, let's talk about Seiya a little bit when it comes to the versatility on this team. The Cubs have decided to test it out during spring training this year. However, it's not exactly what you think when you usually hear that term, versatility, on a roster. It's nice to have players, of course, who can play multiple positions. But what about getting players ready to play in spots outside of their typical position on the field because a situation requires them to play in that new position. The last couple of weeks, including Thursday, Sam, Seiya has played left field. He's in his first 2 years with the Cubs, he's played left field exactly 0 times. Craig Counsell referred to the Ian Happ being sidelined as a reason Seiya was over there, and that maybe if he needs to play there during the regular campaign, even if it's for only a handful of innings, now they're doing a test drive during spring. We've seen Mastro receive some outfield reps. My guess is Bellinger will likely get some time at first before spring training wraps up. Maybe we see Morel get a few innings in center. Mike Talkman wasn't right on Friday again. He needs to be able to play all 3 outfield spots. And then earlier this week, Patrick Wisdom started getting work at third again. So it's nice to see this mix of versatility, because I do think it could elevate them at certain times of the year.
Yeah, I'll let you take that. The versatility stuff's fine for me. It doesn't really rattle the cage that much. To me, I like guys that are comfortable in their positions and they're going to play there. I understand that it's necessary. This team has a ton of depth. So like they can absorb an Ian Happ or a Nick Madrigal injury and be okay for chunks of time. Suzuki playing left and whatever, that's fine. I'm glad he's doing it. It doesn't give me as much as like.
Does it move the needle?
It doesn't really move the needle for me much, no, because I think I think the Cubs will be fine with all that stuff. I think they have versatility. I think they have depth. I think the question on this team is, do they have enough firepower, both in their starting pitching and in their offense, to be a 90-plus win club? I told you, the minute we found out that the Cubs hired Craig Counsell, my concerns about margins, which I think versatility qualifies under.
Yeah, you're right.
They were all gone. I know he's going to take care of this. I trust him. Now it's just, does this have enough talent? Does this have enough firepower to be a 90-win team to blow out the rest of these mediocre teams in this Central? That's my focus. And can I just ask a question? Because I didn't get a chance to watch the game. I saw no errors in the box score, so Morel was clean today.
Yeah, not many opportunities.
Okay.
Because a lot of guys were just walking back to the dugout, but yes.
Because Jed Hoyer did say in a podcast yesterday, I forget what it's called. It's with John Heyman and Joel Sherman. Yeah. He basically said, this third base thing's really unknown. I'm paraphrasing, not quoting.
Yeah.
I tweeted the exact quote. So everyone thinks like it's Morel's job. I'm still really interested to see what's going to happen there. There's a lot here.
No, and he mentioned Madrigal and Wisdom by name too. So
and he didn't mention David Bodie, folks.
Not only the roster, which we're going to talk about in a minute, but the lineup's
going
to change a lot.
Bodie's the greatest spring training hitter ever.
Barry Bodie.
You're right. The lineup's going to change a lot early on, and
I
think both of us are going to get headaches from it.
Oh,
because I don't personally, I'm old school. I just don't enjoy that very much, and I think you're in the same boat.
For the most part, yeah. Until I saw the info from the other teams last year that used hundreds of lineups too.
Except the Braves.
Except the Braves used like 60, right?
Yeah, which how you can use different lineups when everybody in your team hits 35 homer.
Yeah, right. They don't need to.
Yeah, it's going to be that first month, if Garrett Cooper's on the team or whatever, they're going to float out.
Right.
He's got to play and this guy's got to play. I mean, I do hope that there are, to use our term, everydayers, there's no reason to mess around with Seiya, Bellinger, Horner, Happ, Swanson, those guys.
Those 5 are the core. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think Morel's bat should be in the lineup.
And Morel's bat
day.
is 6. Yeah.
Yeah. Morel's bat should be in the lineup every day. And I think Bush should be in the lineup every day versus right-handed pitching. That would be
right.
Would be egregious if he is.
Yeah, I would expect that too.
We need to find out ASAP if this young man can hit at this level, and I think he can.
You mentioned Garrett Cooper. There's also the likes of Dom Smith, Carl Edwards, David Peralta. We first projected the opening day roster last week. Let's update it coming up next. Welcome to our brand new sponsor here on the show, Robinhood. Did you know that even if you have a 401k for retirement, you can still have an IRA? Robinhood has the only IRA that gives you a 3% boost on every dollar you contribute when you subscribe to Robinhood Gold. But get this, now through April 30th, Robinhood is even boosting every single dollar you transfer in from other retirement accounts with a 3% match. That's right, no cap on the 3%. Robinhood Gold gets you the most for your retirement thanks to their IRA with a 3% match. This offer is good through April 30th. Get started at robinhood.com/boost. Subscription fees apply. And now for some legal info. Investing involves risk, including loss. Limitations apply to IRAs and 401ks. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold for 1 year from the date of the first 3% match. Must keep Robinhood IRA for 5 years. The 3% matching on transfers is subject to specific terms and conditions. Robinhood IRA available to U.S. customers in good standing. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, is a registered broker dealer. This episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. Say goodbye to busted brackets because FanDuel lets you bet on every game of the tournament, whether you're betting on a big upset or a 1 seed. It's time to go dancing on America's #1 sports book. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 to use on point spreads, money lines, and you could even pick who's going to win it all. Right now, the Big Ten tournament is in action as we record, and we're excited to keep an eye on that throughout the weekend. Just visit FanDuel.com/locked-on and bet on college hoops until they cut down the nets. FanDuel, official partner of the Locked On Podcast Network. We're back here on Locked On Cubs, and we're going to update the opening day roster for the second time. This is in light of the Jameson Taillon news that he is going to be out that first time through the rotation at least, and hopefully that's all it is. We've heard reporting, Sam, out of Mesa this week that Ian Happ and Nick Madrigal are progressing. You'd like to see them within, I would say, the next handful of days actually appear in a game. I think that would be encouraging. And so there's a few different things to get into it here. So let's put up the graphic and then go through it for both the video and audio peeps. Okay, so I have Smiley in the 5th spot, but I have Javier Assad making it as well. So here's the bullpen situation since the last projection. Smiley 5th starter, but Assad long relief. Luke Little is still in there. Jose Cuas is still in there. Yency Almonte, who just pitched his 2nd inning of all his spring training on Thursday, I have as out. I have Carl Edwards Jr. in. So the bullpen now, Alzolay, Merriweather, Neris, Leiter, Cuas, Little, Edwards, Assad, and then a positional change. Miles Mastrobuoni is out for a little more thump with Dom Smith from the left side. Garrett Cooper, if this was March Madness, Sam, he would be like the first person out, or I guess in this case, the 27th player. So a couple changes there. I like when we spoke on the phone earlier, your point about Mastro. I'd like you to share that on here as well. But I do think against righties, Dom Smith profiles right now as the DH with Morel at 3rd. And that's my reason for that. What do you think?
The first thing I'll say is unless there's an injury we don't know about, I would be surprised if Almonte didn't make the team. Because
right, he doesn't have options.
I believe he doesn't have options, and he was a part of that trade.
Right, the Bush trade, right.
And I would be really surprised if he didn't make it. So that would be my first thing. I mean, unless there's something going on we don't know about. I didn't watch him pitch today. I just saw the box.
Yeah, he was okay.
Yeah, I would be surprised. I really would. As far as Mastro goes, I think this team just lacks speed. And when you lack speed, right. you like to have a guy at the end of the bench that can come in late and steal a bag. And so I think that might hold more value. Oh boy, please warn me when you go back. That might have more value than a guy like Dom Smith. I guess the Dom Smith roster spot or Mervis would. Right. It depends on, like, if Morel's the 3rd baseman, then fine. but I don't think he's going to be the everyday third baseman. I think it's going to be a mix of him
Well, that's
and
why I kept
Madrigal
Madrigal on there.
and maybe Mastro. So in that case, Morel's going to be DHing a lot. Bush is going to play first. I don't know if you have enough room there. I don't know how it works with these options. If Garrett, I think Garrett Cooper should be on this team. I think he's a better hitter than Wisdom. I think, I really do, but I understand Wisdom has a little bit more defensive versatility. I don't know what his option situation is. I know he's 33. Maybe a different team would pick him up. He could be just auditioning right now.
He would just be able to walk.
Yeah, so I would be upset.
Same with Dom Smith and David Peralta.
Well, and to those two gentlemen, I would say, good luck. But to Cooper, I mean, to be fair to all of them, I mean, you're not going to get enough out of spring anyway. But I just think for what this roster needs, I just think Garrett Cooper, if he's used the right way and he only is hitting versus lefties, he's an interesting guy. Because to me, you need somebody to play first against lefties. And so the answer is it Patrick Wisdom or is it Garrett Cooper?
So you're saying Cooper might make it over Wisdom.
I'm not saying that because I think Wisdom's going to make it.
But that's the scenario, though.
But maybe there's room for both of them, and there's no Dom Smith. Maybe Madrigal goes to the IL, so there's room for Mastro as well. Listen, I'm doing exactly what the national media does when it comes to All-Star games. I'm telling you everybody that should be on the team, but I'm not telling you who they should make it over. I
don't think Wisdom should be second at third behind Morel. It should be someone that has stability like Madrigal.
Right. I'm just saying, what if Madrigal got hurt? What if he was at IL?
Oh, okay. In that scenario where if he was hurt, sure.
Yeah, because I think Mastro...
Maybe the first 10 games you try it.
Mastro played the position fine, when he was over there.
Right, but he would be squeezed out in that scenario too, I think.
Yeah.
Or no, I guess in that scenario, maybe he would make it instead of Dom Smith.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's a headache. A headache.
There's more decisions than I thought there would be. I think 2 relief spots and then 1 or 2 position spots depending on injury.
I believe that one of Happ or Madrigal probably won't start opening day and will be on the IL.
Boy, I hope not.
And it's going to open up a spot for somebody.
Okay, well, I hope not. I hope they're healthy.
And let me add another thing too about that Jed thing. He basically made it. He basically made it clear that this is the team.
That's right. I did listen to it today.
Yeah, so kind of like when people tweet at me and are like, "Hey, why is it Matt Shaw on the opening day roster when we know it's not going to happen?" I think at this point it'd be irresponsible to continue bringing up Jordan Montgomery when we just know it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I think that party's over, huh?
And if it does happen out of surprise, surprise Arizona, then fine. Then that would be great. But he pretty much shut it down, and unless it's a leverage play. To me, are
those guys going to sign before opening day?
To me, it's unbelievable that those two guys.
There's 13 days.
I mean, they're at the point where even if they sign him now, he's not even going to be ready. And I got to tell you,
no, they won't be.
2 weeks from today, at this very hour, we're recording it's about 6:20 p.m. Central. We're going to be playing a Major League Baseball game that counts. Can you believe that?
I'm starting to get really, really excited.
The offseason, to me, in a very unique way, because it was one of the most snore-fest, boring experiences of my life, went very quick. Like, I can't believe it's here, man.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready for 6:35 on Thursday, March 28th.
Oh, is it 6:35?
Yes, so kind of an odd time.
I thought it was 6:05.
It's 35 because literally
the ring ceremony.
They're their own exclusive window. There's no other games at that time.
Right. Okay.
The next pair or so of games is at 9:05 Central.
Interesting.
The games before that were at 3:05 Central.
I thought the ESPN game was always at 6:05. You're right, 6:35 Central. That changes everything.
Well, it might just be for that first one.
Well, you know why I think it's later. Why I think it's 6:35 and not 6:05 because they're going to be doing the ring ceremony.
Great.
In Texas. So we're going to have to sit through that.
Any updates on Corey Seager? Drop us a line.
I think the Cubs are going to win opening day. I think they're going to win.
Well, that's going to be a big show then.
I think they're going to win by like 4 runs.
Well, I was starting to think when we were talking earlier, they might be 5-1 going
I
into
think they're
that
going to.
Dodgers series.
I think they're going to win 2 out of 3 in Texas, 2 out of 3 against Colorado. They're going to be 4-2, and then the deferred Dodgers are going to come in here, and Otani and those guys are going to be at Lou Malnati's, and they're going to go, "Can we get some pizza and wings? But can we pay you for it in 2040?" They're going to go to Chicago Cut Steakhouse and order the most expensive thing, and they're going to go, "Hey, we're going to defer that to you. In about 2050, we're going to write you a check."
Coming up next, we have one of our.
I want to beat those guys to a pulp, man. Taking advantage of the situation.
Coming up next, we have one of our favorite segments.
Go Cubs.
Best and worst of the week. Stay tuned. Today's episode is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV, which Sam has. Fire TV is your destination for sports, from live games to highlights to in-depth analysis. Fire TV offers amazing viewing experiences with smart TVs, as well as the Fire TV stick that you could plug into your existing TV that provides access to millions of movies and TV episodes, as well as free and live TV. Whether it's opening weekend for baseball or the college basketball tournaments, you're going to want to have a Fire TV. Fire TV also recently created Fire TV channels to deliver a constant supply of the latest videos from your favorite sports brands, all for free. That includes all of us here at Locked On. Fire TV channels lets you dive into the world of sports and great news, entertainment, gaming, travel, cooking as well. Check out Fire TV channels on Fire TV and Alexa devices. If you haven't checked out Fire TV channels, you should. Trust us on this. To learn more, visit amazon.com/LockedOnFireTV. All right. And we wanted to put a few different previews on your radar as Locked On has launched the first ever national sports 24/7 streaming channel, Locked On Sports Today. And you can mark your calendars for March 30th for the MLB season preview, coming exclusively to Locked On Sports Today. That will be the first place to get local insights from the MLB local experts like Sam Olber on the Locked On Podcast Network. Find the MLB season preview on March 20th, beginning at 6 Central on Locked On Sports Today on YouTube or the Amazon Fire TV app. All right, best and worst of the week right now, Sam. We had some great guests this week. It was a lot of fun. Cole Wright was a 2-for-1 interview because we had an opportunity to fill in on a weekly syndicated radio show called Sports Talk Chicago, where we led off with Bears, talk basketball, and then went to the Cole Wright interview, and which is the full version because he talked Bears at the end of that interview as well. That did not air on this channel. So I'm going to drop the link to Sports Talk Chicago from this week, where we were the guest hosts, filling in for John Z, who's done a great job over there. We're going to be on as many as 7 or 8 affiliates, I believe, this weekend. So that's pretty cool. I'll drop the link to that full episode in this episode description. How was your week?
My best of the week, simple, Matt. It's easy. It's the time of year. You know, you always hear around Christmas time, it's the most wonderful time of year. Wrong. This is the most wonderful time of year. You have March Madness, the conference tournaments at full run. The Chicago Cubs are about to play baseball games that matter. It's starting to get light out. You could see the future of summer. I mean, this is the best time of year, and I'm really excited about it.
Absolutely. I fall for spring every time it hits. I'm a sucker for it for sure. And definitely a boost in energy that it's still light out even now, despite some overcast skies.
Yeah, you sound really excited about it, man.
Don't really want to talk about any worsts right now.
Okay, can I? I have one.
Go ahead.
My hair. I'm about 2 weeks behind on it. Look at this. Look at my hair, man.
Wow.
I'm about 2 weeks behind on a haircut. Been really busy with our program and, of course, my day job. And I'm not going to be able to get in this weekend. So
Wow.
on Monday, for Monday's show, it's going to be even worse. And, hopefully most people are listening on audio.
Yeah, you got to get a spring cleanup.
Yeah, no, I need a lot of help.
Thank you so much for checking out this edition of Locked
Spring
On
cleanup,
Cubs.
a shave, new outfits.
You give us 20 to 30 minutes and we'll give you all things Cubs with a laugh or two along the way. Be sure to hit subscribe on YouTube, smash the like button for the algorithm, and leave a 5-star review on Apple, Spotify, and everywhere you get your podcasts. Another great week of shows. We will talk to you on Monday. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs.
There is momentum happening here.